Now I need to learn how to fight.
You don't think that I would?
Would what?
Save you.
Men folk not always around to protect the women folk, you know? Besides, what if it turned out you were the guy I had to fight? Could happen.
Okay. He'll open himself up to something like this. We'll go half speed until...
No need, I got it.
Handling a lethal weapon's a little different than shaking a pom-pom.
Ready! Oh, hey!
Eat. Go team.
Well, this is the second time you've returned our nephew safely to us. Thank you.
Our pleasure in the sense that he had nothing to do with it.
Who told you you could think? You know, why don't you try listening once in a while instead of constantly flapping that fat mouth of yours?
You weren't exactly captain of the debate team, were you, Gavin? At least Lindsay knew how to...
The initiative you've shown in training with Angel, taking responsibility. I'm proud of you. I was thinking perhaps I'd enter into a similar training arrangement with our Fred.
Well, hey, if you think she can help you fight, why not? I'm kidding. If you want to get to know Fred better, maybe the next time you have her over for an intimate dinner for two, you won't ask the rest of us to come along.
I don't know. I mean, the last thing any of us should be doing is coupling. With each other, I mean. Office romances, even under the most normal circumstances.
We don't live in normal circumstances. I don't know. Maybe we are meant...
For each other?
Actually, I was gonna say to be alone. But what the heck? Wesley, if you like her, tell her.
Cordelia. Maybe you shouldn't be looking at that.
Tell that to the Powers. They already ran the THX version in my head, remember?
Look who's there.
You're sure this is him? This is the guy?
You pull someone from a hell dimension, you tend to remember their face.
She died because of me.
You're not the one who broke them out and put them back on the streets. I did that.
For me. You did it to save me.
And I do it again.
Angel.
Hey. Hey. Whatever's happening now, you're not responsible for this. And neither am I. And you know your boy's on the loose. You know what he's doing.
It's been brought to my attention. Chopping to
Why are you
meatloaf.
protecting him after what
I'm
he did?
sorry, but this deep chivalric concern coming from the only man I know who definitely wants to kill me is a bit much on a day like this.
Your hands are shaking.
Stay away from my client.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Or we could...
So, you want to go next?
I guess we wait here.
Yeah.
You like to hurt women, do you, Billy? That make you feel like a man?
I have never hurt a woman in my life. I just like to watch.
Not anymore.
Oh?
You're going back.
Really? Because I don't think so.
Los Angeles Police Department.
I'm the one that called you. Did you find the body? Was it where I said it would be?
William Blim, we're taking you into custody for questioning.
Oh, yes. I should think you would.
Sanchez, be sure you read him his rights.
Will those be absolutely necessary? I won't give you any trouble, officer. I'll come quietly.
Pull over.
What?
Pull over!
What's your problem?
I'll tell you what my problem is. I got a woman here that don't listen.
I just heard it on the police scanner. The patrol car carrying Billy never made it to the police station. There's been an accident. What you doing? I'm gonna go run an errand.
I am not Lindsay McDonald. I don't switch sides whenever it gets tough. And since when is this your job? I thought Angel was the Dark Revenger.
Please, I was you. With better shoes.
These are Barache.
Fall collection.
Next spring.
He's wide in the heel.
And round at the toe.
That won't work with the pink.
The pink is out this spring.
Billy Blim makes people crazy.
Not all people. Just men.
It's the helplessness. The certainty that there is nothing you can do to stop it. That your life can be thrown away in an instant by someone else. He doesn't care. He'll beat you down till you stay down because he doesn't even think of you as alive. No woman should ever have to go through that, and no woman strong enough to wear the mantle of vicious bitch would ever put up with it.
It looks to me as if some of the red blood cells are kind of supercharged.
Those would probably be from Billy's demon lineage.
So, however Billy's putting the mojo on people, the power seems to be in his blood.
Speaking of saliva, where's Cordelia?
What do you mean, speaking of saliva? How does saliva
It's
make
a
you think
simple
of...
question. Where is Cordelia? Lie to me again, and we're going to have a problem.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you Cordelia left. Really, I am.
We're past that. I put it behind me. Like, no more of these provocative little outfits you wear.
Provocative.
Maybe Mummy and Daddy never explained to you that men, grown men, are wired a certain way. You're practically daring me to take it. Is that what you want?
Stop it.
Oh, are we standing now? Is that what we're doing?
This conversation's making me very uncomfortable.
Oh, you're uncomfortable. Backs are turned. You laugh at us.
No, I would never.
Humiliate us. You think you can do anything you please because you're connected to life, because you bleed. Is that it?
No.
I'll show you blood. What you're up to? Luring me. Forcing me to find you. No, you just keep laughing and running.
And you're here to whine. Poor, helpless, battered woman who needs to vent her feelings about the injustice of it all.
No, asswipe. I'm here to send you back.
I mean, sure, you're all whores who sell yourselves for money or prestige, but men are just as bad. Maybe even worse. They're willing to throw away careers or families or even lives for what's under your skirt.
I'm wearing pants.
So you can dress like a man, talk like a man? Does that make you feel superior?
Actually, I'm feeling superior because I have an arrow pointed at your jugular.
I can't let you do it, Cordelia.
You saved me again. I won't hurt her at all.
So you're saying that Wes turned into a psycho killer because of that bloody handprint that I picked up and looked at?
When you put it that way, it kind of worries me.
Plan B.
Charles.
You know what your real problem is? Guys like him! Because you got no power over him.
Give it back to me so I can smash your stupid head with it. Give me the damn chair leg! You're gonna pay for that.
Let's finish this.
I'm sorry, Wesley, but you forgot I also like to build things.
I never hated my victims. I never killed out of anger. It was always about the pain and the pleasure.
Huh. That wasn't you.
How can you know that? Something inside me was forced to the surface.
It was something that was done to you.
I don't know what kind of man I am anymore.
Well, I do. You're a good man.